Okay, damn it. Now, I know this damn thing's going, so I'm gonna finish and try to talk about, you know what. Gosh, I don't want to do it like that, but I think I'm gonna have to. Who knows if I can fix that afterwards, but I just gotta set my freaking phone somewhere. I need to get a camera or something, like, I don't know. But anyway, I just got back from a doctor's office appointment, and, you know, I'm just like, did just this tiny bit of fucking heroin before way earlier, and the one I did last night, I wake up and I had my leg tucked under. I mean, it was like unbent backwards, and I woke up and I don't know how long I had been there, but I had to pull my leg out, and I'm still passing out, and I'm scared I'm gonna pass back out on my leg because it was like it was paralyzed. You know, I couldn't move it. I had to use my hand. It took like a half an hour or so to start getting feeling back, and then of course, you know, I tried to get in my bed, and freaking finally got in my bed. I sat down, but my bed fell backwards like that. And, well, lay there for hours, probably in the lower back, trying to get up. I could hardly get up, and I'm still freaking messed up. That stuff is so freaking. I don't know. I'm trying to do coke, you know, crack, whatever you want to call it. Trying to wake myself up. Because I need to do some things, you know, and freaking, I don't know, I think some of this stuff's got fentanyl in it, because I'd be smoking and drop the pipe, because I'd fallen asleep. I freaking took it, I hit it, and passed out with it in my lung, with the smoke in my lungs, you know, and then I had a friend that came over, and he was smoking with me, and he all of a sudden he falls backwards, and he says, "Oh my God, I see black swirly things behind my eyelid," and I knew at that point it had fentanyl on it. He was gonna overdose, and so I had to Narcan him. And Narcan, that's overdose reversal stuff, you know. You have to give it in a shot, like a muscle shot. But there was too many people that could not use a needle, you know, to do that, you know. People that snorted maybe, or people that didn't do it, and just their roommate or anybody, you know. So the needle wasn't the best thing, you know. So now they came out with some, you just squirted up somebody's nose while they're overdosing, and then it reverses that. Hold on, I gotta try to wake up a little bit. I'm really fucked up right now. Oh, yeah. I gotta put the flame on it, right? Shit, that wasn't even a good one, man. It tastes bad. It tastes toxic already. You know, that's bad, you know. I had stuff earlier so much, you know, it lasted all night. I fell asleep and several times passed out with it, you know, because somebody gave me a bunch. That guy that I told you about, that I liked, Junior, did I tell you about him in the other video? I don't want to repeat stuff, you know. Sometimes I tend to do that, you know. My short-term memory is kind of shitty. But, did I tell you about, did I talk about the guy in the Walgreens that was in the car overdosing? I don't know if I did, but I saw him in there overdosing in a parking lot of Walgreens, and the other guy that was in the car was out. Oh my God, he's overdosing. So I run into Walgreens and I go to the pharmacy and I tell the pharmacist, there's a person overdosed on heroin out in the parking lot, and the pharmacist literally throws a box of Narcan to me, and I got it, and I ran out there and I gave him the Narcan, and I, you like real hard on your chest, smack him a little bit, and it came out of it, and there's all these people watching in the parking lot, and everybody starts clapping, and I felt really good, like I felt like a hero or something, because everybody was clapping, and I've saved a lot of people's lives, a lot, and and this stupid girl, I'm not gonna say her name, I can't stand her anymore, it got to a point where every time I look at her, everything she did made me want to smash her face in. Every time she'd take a hit, she had to spit. Gotta go wash my hands. And then she'd put all my lotion on. In a day, every time she'd take a hit, putting on lotion. I swear to God, went through a whole bottle of lotion in one day. And then she'd go grab my makeup, and she'd do her makeup every time she come to my house. Like, you're wasting all my makeup, get your own fucking makeup. You stupid bitch. And she'd cry, and she'd screw her face. It was so ugly when she would cry. And, fucking people, they think they do all this shit for me, and, they don't do shit. They do just enough to make me think that they fucking give a fuck, Or when they see that I've had enough, then, so they keep their fucking claws in me. Because these motherfuckers know I am a hustling bitch, and I fucking get it. I get drugs, I get my heroin. Always, I will not go sick. And if you're my friend and you're with me, I won't let you go sick either. And these people know that. And I don't have sex with anybody for shit or anything like that, A lot of times it's just I've known some of these dealers for like 20 years. They're like family, I can always call them, and, I don't pay for a lot of what I get, Earlier today, someone came by, or last night actually, it was probably a gram that he gave me, and then another guy came and he wanted to use my shower because he's got a girl at home, and he always, he's out messing around, and he'll go to the hot tub, and he comes over and says, do I smell like chlorine? And he'll take a shower, and then he'll give me some stuff, And, I got a lot of people like that, I've been in the whole thing for, 22 years, so I've known a lot of these guys that long. And they are like family, My one dealer, I trust him more than anybody, except maybe Shireen, He's the only person that has a key to my house. And when I go to this one person's house I have to go to sometimes, and up north, and he will come and take care of my kitty, feed her and stuff. I had one, and somebody else I had asked, and I thought I trusted my ex-girlfriend and her girlfriend, I trusted them. I thought they would, and I don't think that they came and fed my cat one time, because I came in, her whole dry food bowl was empty, and, and she's so chaos, and, always running and on the go, and always driving. She's got kids and grandkids. She's always taking somebody somewhere. That's like her whole life, and that's good. She's got her kids, That's what she always wanted. Her mom took them away, and she just needed a little help, because the father of her kids killed himself in her garage, and it really messed her up. And that's why I wanted to get into social work. After I got my bachelor's in biology, I wanted to go to med school and be a forensic pathologist. But when I got out of working in the hospital, and I was working in pathology lab, and I got in that car accident, and I broke my pelvis and my neck, and cracked some other shit, and so eventually I'm on Oxycontin, and that's what ultimately led to my heroin addiction. I did go to St. Mary's College, which is part of Notre Dame. Before that, I went to Holy Cross because I dropped out of school after 2 weeks of ninth grade. I was 14. And I left home and I went to Texas, Waco, Texas, actually. A crazy place to go, but just someone was going there and I was going to because I was tired of having a man put his hands on me, my stepfather, and I was kind of sick of it at 14, and I just finally fucking left there, and so it was a horrible trip there too. First of all, it was a bus ride. It was 3 hours or 3 days long, and get there and we're staying with this person's sister and 4 kids, and this house had so many cockroaches. I had never been in a place with cockroaches before, you know, and I had never seen so many freaking cockroaches. I couldn't sleep. I just cried myself to sleep because they'd fall off the ceiling, and oh, you'd hear them fall. Just, oh, I didn't want to eat anything, and I shit you not, there was some newspaper taped up on the ceiling, and it was turning brown, and there was literally maggots dropping out of there because there was a dead rat up there, and there was a hole in the paper, and there was maggots literally dropping to the floor, which the carpet was like tar because it was just so sticky and dirty. It looked like just tar. You scratch it up in your fingernails, you know. And then, you know, they actually kicked us out of there because not anything we did wrong. The motherfuckers fucking kick us out of that fucking shithole, you know. So fucking finally, you know, we got this little house. It wasn't a house. It was like, it was for like oil miners or coal people or whatever, somebody. They were little shacks, you know. Some of them didn't even have they had a couple of them had dirt floors. And there was a Mexican family living in one of them that had dirt floors, and outside they had a hole where they pooped and peed and stuff, and they had a picnic table and in there, and I was so all those kids were eating with their fingers, and then the one next to us, there was a couple, a young couple, and I remember the girl came to my house and she had some kerosene, and she said she had lice really bad, and she put her head over into my tub and poured this kerosene because they didn't have, their water was frozen at that point, you know, and they couldn't get water, which ours happened to do that later. But anyway, she pours this kerosene over her head, and all these bugs are dead, and I swear to God they weren't lice. They looked like fucking fleas, because if they were lice, they were awful damn big. Now, I don't know if fleas will live in somebody's hair, and there was just hundreds of them. And she had very long hair, and it was just disgusted me. Oh my Lord. And she was pregnant, and there was a Vietnam vet, and then her boyfriend and her that lived there, and they stole the $300 that my grandmother had sent me to get home. Because I was tired of that, you know. I got caught stealing food, a ham, actually. I had a big army coat, and I fucking still was trying to steal a fucking ham. And they called the cops, you know. Like, Jesus Christ, can't you see? I'm fucking starving to death here, you know. Fucking, and then the cops called my mom. This would not fly today, not at all. 14-year-old girl, I was there with a 22-year-old guy, first of all. That wouldn't happen. CPS would get involved in that. And that I'm not living at home or going to school. And I'm stealing food. So these cops called my mother and asked if I was a runaway. And she said no. And she said as far as she was concerned, she would give up parental rights to the guy that I was with there. But we lived in this damn little shack too. And we actually had a bed frame, and it had no mattress on it. It was just like not springs or anything, but it was like you laid a fence over it or something, you know. That's what it was. It was a twin bed, and we were both trying to sleep in that because it was really cold on the floor, and then it was hard floors, and there was just one little tiny heater, and all the heat was rising up, and we had went to the dog pound, and we ended up with a couple of dogs, you know. So we're trying to sleep in there with 2 dogs and 2 people, and that thing was so hard. I hope I'm not boring everybody. I can talk forever. I can talk forever. Believe me, I feel sorry for you. I feel at least you can turn me off. People that come over, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I can't stop talking, especially when I do this. It's even worse. And this, I get really truthful when I smoke this. And so one time, I'm at this house and the cops come after me, and I had just done a big old hit of it, and I commenced to telling this cop everything that I had done wrong. And in like a month, 3 months period of time, I'm like, oh my God. And like another time, I tell my boyfriend, we're both smoking, and it's like, I feel like, oh, we're getting along so well, we're talking, and this would make our relationship better. And I would tell him that, oh, I cheated on him, because I did, and I thought that would be a good thing to tell him I cheated on him. It never was, That's fucked up. Oh, shit. Am I waking up at all? I feel like I am. I don't remember everything I've said already. Like, about the 2 guys that I know that was smoking this, and they died because they had fentanyl in it. 3 grain, it's like 3 little grains of sand. That's the amount of fentanyl that it would take to kill somebody that didn't do it. And I never wanted to do fentanyl, never. Nobody did. Dealers didn't even want to sell the fucking fentanyl and heroin. And because it's so dangerous, and it got to a point where there's no heroin anymore. It's just all fentanyl. And I really miss real heroin, because I haven't seen it in a long time. When I was in the methadone clinic, and I still was using, because it was so strong it overpowered the damn methadone. And so I know when I got dropped there, they dropped every week, and I always had fentanyl in my system, not any morphine, which is what heroin breaks down to. Anyway, I'm so tired. My mom tells me that all I talk about is drugs, and I tell her, that's all I fucking do, Mom. It's my whole fucking life. What else am I supposed to talk about? I don't have a life outside of this, I show you what I did earlier, though. Hold on 1 minute, because it's kind of funny, Shit. It ain't the first time it's happened either. I'll show you in a minute here. I'm thinking that maybe my videos are too long and I'm boring you. I'm boring people, and you're not gonna stay watching this. I have drama sometimes. Oh God, my friend got out of rehab a couple days ago, and first day she gets kicked out of her fucking sober house. Now she's back in the same situation she was before she went. Absolutely. I've had that happen to me before, but, not the very, well, one time I did, the very first day, and that's a story in itself right there. Yeah, maybe I'll tell you that one in a minute if you want to listen. I want to show you what happened earlier, though. Seems that when I'm high and fucked up, I like to bake things. So, this is my banana bread. It was in there for about 2 hours. I finally started smelling it and remembered it was there. Can you see what's on the ceiling and the walls? It was very much worse. It was very bad. I've cleaned a whole bunch of it, but I was trying to make caramel. I made it lots of times. Me and my friend used to make it, but you take the Eagle, Eagle milk, the sweet one, and you don't open the can or anything, and you put it in a pan of boiling water. And, well, of course, you have to put more water in it all the time, because you got to do this for about 4 or 5 hours. And so the water comes out. You got to pour more water in it. I pass out, and can sits there on a very hot pan with no water. It so violently blows the top off of it and the caramel out. It bends the fucking pan. I slept through all of it. My roommate that got out of rehab the other day, she's like, didn't even wake me up. Well, the gas was going too. And I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? It was horrible. This ain't nothing compared to, can you see it? And then I did it again. You know, I fucking did that, and I actually went outside and was working in my flower garden and forgot all about it. And I'm like, oh my God, my car will come in here, it's all blowed up once again, you know, up there. It was shit. Oh, yeah. And then one other time, I was making a pizza, and it turned out like the banana bread, you know. And I don't know why, you know, I want to cook. I never want to cook any other time, but I want to fucking cook. Yeah. Especially when I do the fentanyl, and I take a benzo, you know, like a Xanax. I used to want to leave my house when I would do Xanax or Klonopin, and I would want to drive and go steal things from stores, and I'd steal massive amounts of shit, and I do it for days, and you know, I've acquired 15 retail frauds. People will say, well, you must not have been good at it. Well, over the 20 years that I've done it, there's been times every day, all day long. And that was getting stuff for myself. And then I moved here and I learned about boosting. You know, and dealers want stuff, they'll give you half price. And me and my ex, we were a hell of a fucking team, man. These guys, oh, how in the hell did you get all that? You know, and we had so many people putting in orders, we couldn't keep up with it all. Especially Christmas and Halloween. Everybody wanted the costumes. We go in that shop and you gotta go up there and tell them which one you want. We can get it and just walk out. We did that at this Mexican store, and this girl wanted, I don't know how many pounds of fajita meat. So we go up there and Marcella tells them, she wanted that, and they, however many pounds, you know, and they slice it through this machine and pack it, and it was like huge. She puts in her freaking shirt and looks damn pregnant, and all of a sudden we hear this girl, she goes, Alejandro! And here comes Alejandro, you know, he's running towards us, and fucking we were running fast, man, and we jumped in the freaking car and took off, and you know, that one, of course, they got our license plate. Then I learned to take tape, the same color as the numbers on your plate, and change numbers, you know. And I got to a point where I would wear wigs and sunglasses and things like that. Yeah, we would always, you know, dress nice. When I had a different boosting partner, a guy, and we looked like just a regular couple, you know. Make sure that you dress good. You don't go in there looking all crazy, you know. Oh God, we would take carts and just get carts out the whole fucking thing, you know. I push one cart and I don't know what I'm gonna really do until I get there, and I saw the little door that they push the carts, and there's no carts in there, and I fucking pushed that motherfucker. Nobody saw a whole cart of shit. And then Marcel was pushing one out one time, and I fall, and I act like I'm having a seizure at the door, and this lady comes, and she goes, oh, no, you don't. And I see Marcel kind of stop, and she goes, I seen you trip yourself, you're not suing us. Yeah. And then Marcel pushed it right out. And then another time, she's pushing a cart out, and I'm distracting the guy in the garden center, and I'm like, can you show me a ficus tree? And he takes me in the back, and all of a sudden we hear this stupid woman, somebody's pushing a cart out. And he's walking pretty normal, you know, not fast. I'm walking with him, and, you know, she fucking makes it to the fucking car, puts all that shit in the car, and she's like bent down, and so he's looking, and I get in the car, and there she is, like right there, and like waved to him and left. I've walked out with a store employee with tons of shit in the cart or in my arms and chatting with him, you know, because one time I had a blanket, I throw it over my shoulder, right, and I go up and I buy some stuff, and she's looking at me all weird, but she ain't saying nothing because, you know, I'm acting just so normal and casual, and, you know, she can't process what's really going on, you know. And just walked out with it and left her just so confused, like, you know, who would do that? But then there were times where I'd be really messed up, and we were in a pawn shop one time. They were trying to pawn something, and there was a paint gun. It was a rifle, and I'm wearing sweatpants, and put it down the leg of my sweatpants. I'm walking out all stiff-legged. It was like so obvious, and the guy that owned the place, he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I walk out the door. He says to my girlfriend, he's like, just go get that from her. Yeah, funny stuff, right? And I got stories, so many stories. And everybody says, oh, yeah, I should write a book. But the thing is, I'm not a famous person or anything. Why would somebody want to read a book about me? You know, for real. If you want to read a good book, read fucking Heroin Diaries by Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue. And another really good one, which surprised me, was, it's called, gosh, what's it called? I'll have to think about it, but, you know, it was that girl Sally from Third Rock from the Sun. And, the tall, Amazon-y, beautiful. Yeah, she was an addict, and she wrote a really good book. And I can't, when I have to recall something, it's just gone. It'll come to me someday. Yeah. Well, I have this feeling that I've been on here too long. I know I probably bore the hell out of people. Because when other people try to talk, when they're hi to me, oh my God, just annoying, because I want to talk, you know, and sometimes they're just so boring, you know. Sometimes these motherfuckers are just so stuck, you know. If I didn't talk, you know, this freaking guy that somebody had brought him to my house, and of course he came back over by himself, and he had some stuff, and we're smoking, and I'm talking, and it's my house, and this motherfucker literally said that I was getting on his nerves talking. So I'm like, okay, well, what do you want to do? So I tried to stop talking. He came and sat by me and starts rubbing my leg and looking at me, and I said, look at him, I said, oh, this is really freaking fun, you know, this is real great, oh, you know, I'm like, I'm fucking bored. I don't want to get high anymore. I don't want you here. You can just leave. Oh, I'll stop. You can talk. Like, I want to fucking talk to you now. Get the fuck out of my house. These motherfuckers, some of them think, oh, if they got a little bit of drugs, you know, they can just come and do anything. I ain't know. You get your fucking ass the fuck out of here. I fucking took a butcher knife out and put it to... I was going to put it to the motherfucker's head, because I told him, if you come over, you ain't going to be... Guys, when they smoke crack, they get really weird, and especially black guys, young ones, they want to talk about sex and pull their dicks out and everything, you know. White dudes will talk about it, but they don't get, like, aggressive like some of the black guys do. And I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but it's just the truth in my experience. And I don't know why that is, but it is. It's not a coincidence. It's happened way too many times. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I saw the guy, and I kind of knew him, and he was walking down the alley. He left the house that I had just left to buy something, and he asked, could he come and sit in my house and do his stuff, and I said, yeah. I said, don't try pulling none of that bullshit, you know, talking about sex. I didn't want to hear it. So we get in the house, and he does it, and the first thing he says is, can I see your boobs? And, oh my God, I'm standing by my sink, and I pull this knife on. He goes, what's that? And I said, it's a fucking butcher knife, and I won't hesitate to cut your fucking throat. So get the fuck out of here. And he was stuck, and he couldn't fucking get up and leave, and somebody knocked on the door, and it was Joe, this guy. And I said, Joe, this dude's up there. I said, get him the fuck out of here. Yeah. This is what I mean. That's all I talk about is this kind of shit. You know, I mean, I have other experiences, I guess, from my life, but a lot of them just really aren't good. I mean, some of them are funny, you know, like my grandpa at Thanksgiving, you know, he was an alcoholic, you know, and he was just the weirdest man I've ever met. I'll have to tell you about him later, but we're at Thanksgiving dinner, and he just shovels like 3 big, huge spoons of coleslaw in his mouth, and he starts sneezing, he's, and he just blew this fucking coleslaw everywhere. My great-grandma's a granny, she's like, God damn it, Lee, you're gonna make me vomit. And everybody's mad. Nobody can eat now because he chews tobacco and he has no teeth because he never went to a dentist or doctor in his life, you know. They're from the hills of Virginia. They were hillbillies, you know. My grandparents, my grandpa came from a place in Virginia, they call it Steep Rock. There was actually somebody who wrote a little book, and it's called The Steep Rock People. And I never read it, though. I read parts of it when I was doing, like, genealogy stuff. I did genealogy shit, and I was getting pictures from people of my family, and it was always two men and a woman and about like 15 dirty kids wearing overalls standing on this little porch of a shack, not smiling, not one of them. That was where my family came from. I don't know. I'm not a hillbilly, I guess. I'm a honky. I would say I'm 100% honky. Because, like, a lot of my black friends will say to me, you know, Shannon, you're not white. You're not white. You're black. And I look at myself, and I said, last time I looked at myself, I didn't see I'm white, you know, because that really bothers me, you know. Are you trying to say that it's bad to be white? Because that's how I'm taking it, you know. Just like when somebody says to a black person, oh, I'm colorblind. That's kind of shitty, you know, because you're taking something away that's a huge part of who they are. So what's wrong with being black? You know, why can't you see that I'm black? You're colorblind. What the fuck? When you see a white person, you don't say I'm colorblind. You know, why don't you see that I'm black? That's part of me. And there's nothing wrong with that. And just, I don't know. I just try very hard not to, you know, be racist or anything like that, or prejudice, but, you know, I do know that there's differences between our two races, very big differences in culture and things like that, and I don't think that's wrong to know that, because it's true, and it's not a bad thing. I happen to really like the culture that the black people have. I really do, and I think it's a jealousy thing, you know, not a bad jealousy thing, but a lot of white people, we don't have much of a culture. We you know, if you go to a nursing home, you will never see, very rarely, a black person in a nursing home or a Mexican person in, because they take care of their people. We white people, we just throw our freaking old grandmas and shit. We don't want to deal with them, you know. You know, it's just like we have no connection to each other like other races do. Maybe they have to share, a group of people share like a hardship, you know, and that brings them together, even if they weren't part of the hardship. It's just still there, like slavery, you know. It is still a big deal, you know, to people that weren't even in a slave, you know what I mean, because it has followed them for all these years, you know. I read the Willie Lynch, The Making of a Slave, and it was just, I understood at that point how years and 400 years later that it's still affecting people, whites and blacks, obviously. And like Jewish people, they had the Holocaust, and that brings people together, I believe, you know, a shared hardship or a shared enemy. Just I know that if someone invaded the United States, Russia or anything like that, or even an alien invasion, you know, there would be no more black and white. It would just be us as people together defending our country or our lives. You know, put your lives in danger. Let's say that there's aliens invading and they're after us and they're trying, you know, you're gonna fucking care that someone's black or oh no, you know, no, we're gonna come together, you know. A lot of people try to keep the races apart because it benefits them, you know. Just like in the slavery days, they had to break them up into groups to cause hatred and controversy between groups. So the lighter skinned black people, they were working in the house, they had better jobs than the darker skinned people, so that caused envious and jealousy and anger. And that's what they do to us, you know. They do it with music. They marionette us just like little puppets, you know, and people don't realize that, you know. that the people that you actually hate are manipulating you, you know, and you're doing exactly what they want you to do. Okay, I said I was going to get off here. This is probably freaking 2 hours. I don't know how long anybody is going to want to listen. I have a lot of shit to talk about, you know. I hope it's interesting. See y'all later.